talked a little bit about it upstairs. Walk me through the design process of Beetlejuice, for example. Starts with kind of a painting. You're actually painting what will become your handmade fabric, then working with the collage. So kind of walk me through how you go from concept to fabric.
The dream, the approach of Beetlejuice, the way we wanted to tell this story, Alex Timbers is our fearless leader, as our director, and is that we wanted to really channel as best that mere mortals can Tim Burton and his brilliant brain, and also his hand, the way he draws and paints. And we wanted that to come alive. We're not copying the movie, we are retelling the story. We've gone back to his original sketches and his original watercolors and how he draws and paints and how he uses stripes over many, many stories. So stripes, Beetlejuice is about black and white stripes, and it's not the only black and white stripes in the canon of Tim Burton. So that would be crucial to my assignment, is how are we going to do these stripes? So all around here is all Beetlejuice all the time, and I sort of immersive osmosis is how I've been designing this project. And we really wanted the stripes to look like he himself had painted them directly on the people and on the clothes. And so we started with a two-process thing. I made a white board, and I collaged it with fabric and twine and string and different gauzes, and made it a very interesting shaded board of white. So it starts from bright and goes to darker, so we could use it. Then a separate board, I took 5 different fabrics and cut them out roughly with my scissors and made a stripe and then overlaid them. So it really looks like, actually from a distance, slight difference. It looks like I painted it. And then we photographed the ground, the white ground as it were, which is not just white, it's all the colors. And then we overlaid the photograph of the black stripes, and we printed it on 3 different fabrics that are each reflective and will receive that sort of dye, because it's an inkjet type of printing that sort of goes into the fabric, doesn't just sit on it. And we're making the many Beetlejuice suits out of 3 or 4 different fabrics, so that when he turns, it will catch the light in different ways. Same print, but on different fabrics. And like a sleeve, there's a 2-part sleeve. Well, half the sleeve is one and half's the other. And they're very close. They've got a jacquard sort of shimmer in them. And they're all made out of the same fabric. But they have different patterns woven into these fabrics. We've printed on them. I'm mixing it all up, so when he turns, there'll be a life to his, there'll be a movement in the fabric.
Well, and you said there's quick changes. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the show. So,
and plus we have a scene filled with Beetlejuice clones. He clones himself. So they're like 25 different Beetlejuices. And, they're all over the place. So, havoc reigns.
Talk to me a little bit about, because this is Broadway World Raleigh, so talk to me a little bit about, in your studio, I'm so fascinated, you're a collector of things, it seems like.
I'm a hoarder. I am a hoarder.
So talk to me a little bit about some of the little North Carolina pieces in your studio, the governor's drapes.
Well, yes, there are no doors in this studio. The only thing keeping the cold air in and the hot air in, and whichever you need, are the de-accessioned, sort of dry, rotten curtains from the governor's mansion in Raleigh, and different gifts over the years of Mary Siemens, I think. And then once they started to dry rot, they replaced them, and they were all getting ready to be thrown into the dumpster. And someone said, well, maybe William can make costumes out of them. So not out of dry rotted things, but they certainly are all around the studio, and it makes me feel like home. Not that I grew up at the governor's mansion, but one does have aspirations.
And you also, your typewriter's sitting on Jackie Onas's.
Oh, you've been reading those stories.
A little bit?
Well, yes, I do. A lot of people have given me a lot of things, and I also have, I have her desk, and Paul Green's family just gave me one of his 2 writing desks, and I now have that. It's still down in North Carolina. I'm not sure where it should end up. I might need that energy up here, but you know, he's North Carolina's great writer. And I knew him and called him Uncle Paul. So the fact that the family gave me this desk that he wrote so many of his plays and of all of his, you know, political diatribes, you know, against injustice and the death penalty and so many things. So I have that desk. So yes, I do collect. That's not called hoarding. That's called celebrating.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here and to have shared
Well,
this
thank
time
you,
with
because it's you know, and I was just in Charlotte all year, sort of with the Mint Museum. So that was a great celebration. They really spoiled me rotten, and it was great. That particular show had an interactive nature to it. You could come and then draw, and school kids and grown-ups could draw costumes at the beginning and at the end. So it was, and we had a lot of explanation there, little videos telling how do we do it, answering questions like you've asked, and models and fabric swatches. I was very impressed with how their curatorial eye and how they rolled that out, because, and then there was a beautiful book too. So I was spoiled rotten by the Mint Museum.
And Bobby Owen's book, we got to say, Bobby's book is gorgeous.
Yeah, it certainly was. Bobby Owen spent over 2 years researching that book. It has everything. She found out plays and musicals and things that I had not remembered that I had done, and then she found the playbills for them. So obviously it all happened. So she put that together, and her analysis of the whole process, I think, is fascinating for theater geeks and, you know, theater nerds like me. I mean, I learned a lot from it. So that was great. Bobby Owen, great writer, great historian.